What's up, guys? This is the third lesson for Fire on the Mountain. So a quick little recap here. We've got a B major chord and an A major chord. So over the B major chord, the first lesson, if you haven't checked it out, you should check it out. I'll have those in the links below. We're just doing the triad. And then over the A, we're playing the A triad. Okay, and that's a great exercise. It takes some work. Put in the work. It's going to be very fruitful for you. After you do that, after you get a pretty good idea of these triads, lesson 2, we're adding 2 notes to the triad. So the triad is 1, 3, 5 in every major scale. And then when we add the 2 and the 6, these extensions of the chord, now we've got the pentatonic scale. The major pentatonic scale over the B chord and then over the A chord, same thing. So it's really important that you're rooted in the triad and then you're using the 2 and the 6 as extensions of the triad. You're not just seeing the pentatonic shape and playing. You already know how to do that, probably, and that's what 99% of guitar players are doing. And this kind of separates the pros from the amateurs here. And, you know, it's not that much harder. There's some work involved for sure. But again, the reward it's a huge payoff. So, and that's the first 2 lessons. Triads, then the pentatonic scale. But seeing the pentatonic scale as extensions of the triad. I don't think I mentioned that in that lesson, but that is extremely important to grasp that. So now, the next step, third lesson, we're going to add 2 more notes. So this is where we start to get into modes. In modes, I'll do a lesson on modes for sure. Modes confuse the hell out of a lot of people, and I was confused about modes for a long time, but they are actually not that complicated. I'm not going to dive too deep into them. I'm just going to explain what it is for this specific lesson here. So we've got, right now, let's just, where we left off, we had the B major pentatonic scale. So we got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. So now we're going to add the 2 notes left. There's 2 more notes here that we've left out, and it's going to give us more depth, more harmonic depth. We're going to add the 4. Of course, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, some people might think we would just go ahead and add the 7 to make it B major, right? But that's not actually the function of this chord. This is the 5 chord and this is the 4 chord of the major key. So we're just seeing how harmony is built, and this is how it's structured. So there's actually a flat 7 in this one. So we're adding the 4 and the flat 7. What is that? That's B Mixolydian scale. Now you've probably heard of the Mixolydian scale, especially if you're into the Dead, because they use it a lot. And so over this B major chord, that B Mixolydian is where it lives. It's money. And you're gonna get that cool flat 7 sound, which is not in the pentatonic scale. It adds depth and maturity to your playing. It's not always going to fit if you're playing a certain style of music, but it works quite a bit. You can always test it out. It definitely works on Fire on the Mountain. So we've got that B Mixolydian scale. So what's really worth your time here? Start on your B, and recognize the scale degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1. Just see it in 2 octaves, and you spend a little time, and then maybe just jam with that one chord. You could do a looper pedal just with the B. So you can already tell that there's more going on here. We're just adding those 2 notes. Again, triad, pentatonic, mixolydian. We're just kind of starting the foundation and just going outward. So that's over the B chord. So over the A chord, we have a different scale. So the nice thing about the pentatonics was the same shape applied to both. And you can have a lot of fun doing that. But you are missing out on some really cool notes. Some of the hip notes. The jazz cats might say that. So the A, since it's the 4, we've got the 5 chord and the 4 chord, back and forth. The 4 chord, we are actually going to be playing this note. This sharp 4 shows up. And then we're going to add the 7, the major 7, no flat 7 here. So we've got this 1, 2, 3 sharp 4. This is a Lydian. It's called Lydian. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Now that note, that sharp 4 is that's what makes it Lydian. And it's super hip, super cool. You can hear it if I play like, here's an A major, here's an A major 7, so I'm adding the 7 now. Add that sharp 4, we're actually going to call that a sharp 11 when it's up an octave. And this may sound familiar if you play that in F. If you're a Deadhead, you like the Dead. That's Terrapin Station, the intro. It's that sharp 11. So that's the sound you're getting. And you're not getting that out of the triad or the pentatonic. You're getting it for this 3rd lesson. Like I said, we're adding more color. We're adding more depth to our playing. So, a great exercise would be to... I'm going up and down the mixolydian, and then up and down Lydian. Ah. I guess I need to practice a little bit. So let's do that again. Lydian. Yeah. Okay. And you can tell they're different. And now, really the mindset here is we're in 2, and this is how modes work. We're in the B major world, and then we're in the A major world. We're in the B major, the B mixolydian world, when the B's chord sounding, and then the A chord, we're in that A Lydian world, right? So now, at first it's gonna, it may be sound like you're hard to hear the differences. That's why it's important to have a backing track or a loop pedal. I'll definitely post some example of me playing with the chords, but I'll go ahead and jam a little bit with no backing track. See if I can get into something here. I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm just gonna play in these positions. B, A, I'm still using those triads a lot. Okay, just a little example. You can still hear the changes, even though there's a lot going on there. What I'm doing when there's no backing track and there's no chord supporting you, if you want the listener to follow the chord progression, you got to really be aware of those triads. So I'm building off, like a lot of times I may be starting on the root. Or, well, that's the root again, or maybe start on the 3. 5. So you see, those triads, you can't get around it. You can't skip any here. There really aren't any shortcuts when it comes to this stuff. And if you're running into any teachers that are trying to entice you with shortcuts, yeah, I wouldn't really get lost in that, because there is work involved, but it's fun and it's worth it. So I hope this helps, and have some fun jamming. All right, peace.